Hello, this is my presentation on Olmotrace. So Olmotrace is a newer tool that came out of the Allen School AI2 Institute. So the problem is that LLM output is non-deterministic and it's often false, and ideally we'd want to be able to trace certain outputs back to their original training documents, whether or not to follow up for more research, or also understand what exactly is causing the LLM to be false, whether or not maybe it's citing some not so accurate Reddit posts. LLMs are also possibly trained on copyrighted material, certainly, definitely. So a big problem is that artists or other creators, owners of IP, can't currently trace LLM outputs to see if it's referencing from any sort of copyrighted work or any other work that they did not give the AI companies permission to use in their training data set. Also, there are existing methods to trace output back to source material. However, those don't work on newer models because of the sheer size. A lot of models have billions of parameters, and it's a much more complex problem than a lot of previous things. Okay. So Olmotrace is a tool that verbatim traces LLM output back to reference documents. By reference documents, I mean documents in its training corpus. So the output, what Olmotrace will do, if given an output, is find documents that have verbatim, word for word, certain spans of text that are the complete same as the LLM's output. So basically doing a search for, is this sentence in the LLM output anywhere in our text corpus, and it finds all of those matches. It's also got a UI to sort them by relevance. The way it works is it's powered by Infinigram, which uses prefixes, suffixes, and it allows for the sort of retrieval, search over millions and millions of documents pretty quick. Like, this is like one of the bigger parts of this project that allows it to be so quick. Olmotrace also includes an interactive playground, which lets you play around with prompts using this UI and see real-time what documents the model or Olmotrace can find. Okay, so personal notes, this is a step in the right direction towards tracing LLM output, helping people preserve IP. So in the future, if this gets further improved, it could definitely be used as a tool, maybe in legal avenues, to ensure that LLMs are not using copyrighted material, and if they are, that the proper action is taken. However, I think while this is interesting, it can't really be applied to many current LLM tools, such as Claude or ChatGPT. Big reason is these companies are huge black boxes. They don't publicly share what data they're using to train the models on, whereas Olmotrace relies on having the corpus of text in order to be able to reference it. So this tool can't yet be used to take a black box LLM and trace it back to its output. Also, while it finds matching spans of text, it doesn't imply that the document that it found caused the LLM or influenced the LLM's output. As is, there's not a way to accurately say that a document caused a certain thing in the LLM. So this can show like correlations. This document had a lot more text that was in the LLM output, but that's about as far as it goes. Next steps would be to use the ideas in Olmotrace in combination with policy to help create transparency in the big tech training process, and maybe force these AI companies to adopt similar tools or techniques to show what documents they might be referencing.